Namaskar. Welcome to Shubh Naam section 3. Before this section, we have learned how to name a child, which will be one of the most crucial things that you will have to face while you practice astrology. Then we learned how to rectify a name. Another most crucial area which you will face as an astrologer if you are going to have a practice tomorrow. Even if you are not going to have a practice, a common person that will come to you without any knowledge of astrology. Why they will come to you? They will come to you for this purpose only, that there is a newborn child, we want to name it. Or we have a wrong birth time, then we have to correct it. At multiple points of time, people even don't know their birth time. Then you have to correct it. Or at many instances, what happens is what they know is a rough time. That, sir, I am born at 9:15, or sir, I am born at 9:20. You have to further rectify it. Because the situation surrounding pregnancy, the situation surrounding delivery of a child is so much of chaos that the mother, father, or anyone else, like father, etc., are outside of the room. So they don't actually know when the child came out. Everything in the room is worried for the child. So none of them are able to take note of those 1-2 little minutes that is going then and there. So for every horoscope, as an astrologer, let me tell you, for every horoscope, it is an essential duty to rectify the birth time, because 98% of the times the birth time is not correct. Imagine the situation of a childbirth, and you will yourself know. My knowledge, the knowledge that I share, is always focused on making you an astrologer, making you an practicing astrologer. Whether you practice it or not, whether you do it for yourself, your family members, or for the whole world, whether you take astrology as a profession or not, is your discrimination, is on your discretion. I won't comment on that. But at least if you are learning astrology, learn in such a way that you can practice it. Otherwise, just learning it for the sake of time pass is just wasting your time. That should not be done. If you are learning something, learn it in such a good way that it becomes useful for you and useful for at least your family, right? So I have been teaching with this thing in mind. Now in this third section, we are going to deal with the formulas. We are going to deal with the formulas of changing your name for a better future. Changing your name so that you synchronize yourself with the cosmos. You synchronize yourself with the power of your birth chart. You synchronize yourself to the universe so that all the good results of the horoscope come to you. Try to understand some point. If the horoscope have a great potential and you choose a good name, all that potential will start coming to you. Generally, what happens that there is a great potential in the person, but because of 1-2 small mistakes or not realizing that potential, people are not able to use their talent to the maximum. People are not able to use their skill set to the maximum. This is the story of Hanuman from Ram. When Hanuman was about to go to Lanka, he was sitting on the seashore and was thinking how to cross the sea, until and unless Jamwant came and told him what he actually is. Right? So you may have a very good chart, but unconsciously or consciously, by doing the karmas, right? You see, horoscope is the potential of yourself when you were born. But after your birth, up to this extent, you have been doing karmas, right? That is called kriyaman karma that you have been doing. And those kriyaman karmas may sometime subdue or suppress the potentials of the horoscope, right? Sometime people may not be in synchronization with. See, let me tell you something about railways, right? So what happens? A train is supposed to cross at a certain time on a railway station. So at that time, at that time, the complete route for the train is open, clear, green signal. But once the train becomes late, when he reaches the station, it is the time for some other train to pass. So that train is stopped and the other train is given a passing. It keeps on happening on every station, every station, every station, every station. And in the end, the train reaches its destination very late, 2 hours late, 3 hours late, 4 hours late, right? That happens when you are not in a synchronization, right? So to use your horoscopic power to the maximum, to use your horoscopic power to the fullest, you have to synchronize your name with your horoscope. That is the first thing that we achieve. Secondly, sometimes what happens, some planets are misplaced. Some planets are placed wrongly. Suppose you have few planets in the 12th house. The name Rashi that we are going to find now is very essential and very crucial. Let me tell you an experience. There was a lady, and in her chart, she was having bad marital life. But her chart was not indicative of bad marital life, which whoever looked at his chart told that you are going to have a good marital life, you are going to have a good marital life, you are going to have a good marital life. But actually, she had a bad marital life. When she came to consult us, my father told the lady that you are having a bad marital life. So her mother was very amazed. And she told that, sir, yes, my daughter had a divorce. But everyone kept on telling that she had a good marital life. How do you say that you have a bad marital life? My father said that your name comes in Libra. Although Libra is your third house, but your name comes in Libra. And because your name comes in Libra, we have to see your horoscope from the third house only. And from the third house, marital prospects are very bad. Your Venus is in the second house. She was having Venus in the second house in Virgo. And Mars was in the 8th house. So father said that because you have Venus in 12th from your name Rashi and 7th Lord from the name Rashi is in the 6th house, there was a chance of divorce. And it indicates at a bad marital life. But because Venus and Mars are respecting each other, there are also chances of one more marriage. She will get married again as well. This is the importance of the name Rashi. You find these name Rashis for anyone, right? You know, this is also predictive technique. You find this name Rashi for anyone. And let me guarantee you that once you test it on 4 or 5 horoscopes, you will be very clear that more than ascendant or more than anything else, this name Rashi have great, great impact on the lives of the individual. This is the power of this technique. Now, suppose you have major planets in the 12th house from the ascendant. So what happens? All the major planets goes to the 12th house of expenditure and all the potential of the chart is lost. Person doesn't get the good result of the chart. What you can do, you can set the name to the third house. What will happen? When you set the name to the third house, the ascendant, the name ascendant comes to the third house. And in that scenario, the planets in the 12th house will actually come into the 10th house from the name Rashi. You know what it will do? The major planets that were going to the 12th house, giving the loss of talents, will change into major planets going to the 10th house, giving success, name, fame, and everything to the person. This is the power of this technique. And you know what? This is not as weak or as bad as it happens with normal numerology. Suppose your name is Rohit. You know what normal numerology people will do? They will tell you put an extra R. What it will become? Will it remain Rohit? It will become Rohit. Now this Rohit is not a name. It is grammatically incorrect. It is absurd. Or they will tell you, like remove one word. So some astrologer told me earlier he never knew that I am an astrologer. My friend gave my chart to him for testing him, and he told from my name Shubham, the astrologer told that remove this A. It will not remain Shubham, it will become Shubham. That Shubham is not a name. It is not grammatically correct. It is not linguistically correct. It is absurd. It is actually absurd. That is the problem with normal numerology. You put 2S in my name, it becomes Susubam. Now, Susubam is not a name. And that Susubam is also not good. It is literate. If you have to make it real Sushubam, you should add Sushubham. That will become a real name. So, what you achieve with normal numerology is technically an absurd name, are technically absurd names, right? Not with this technique, of course not. Because you know what? We are not introducing absurdity. We are not introducing absurdity. We are introducing real techniques which actually work. And let me tell you something. This numerology, people who put an extra R in the name, extra S in the name, extra P in the name, or remove one letter from the name. Let me tell you something today. You take those people in the examples that I have given, or take anyone. They don't do this absurdity. Let me be very honest with you. I ask you a simple question. My name is Shubham. If it is numeral, if it is incorrect, why I have to make it Sushubham or Shubham? Should not I make it Virender, Devender? Should not I make it Rohit or Rohan? That will be a better way, isn't it? Just change the complete name. Like you will see in the example, the name of Vin Diesel was something else. He changed it to Vin Diesel. Isn't it a good way? This actually is. You don't make it absurd. It remains good. It remains well. It remains fine. And you get in synchronization with the universe and get the best results out of the horoscope. This is what happens, isn't it? This is the way to do it, right? There is a saying there is a saying that my grandfather used to say, Shobana iti shobhyate. Things which are good are beautiful, right? So let we make changes in the life of our clients. Let we make changes in our lives which are good, which are beautiful. Don't make changes which are absurd or bad to look at. With this thing, let's come to the first slide. Correct your name astrologically and align yourself to luck. The third section of the Shubh Naam course. Why use these methods? Is this not absurd? This is not absurd as normal numerology. In normal numerology, when I add an extra S in my name, the word meanings, etc. will go bad. And the name can give success, but will not be presentable. Hence, it will become absurd. Normal numerology is more psychological, whereas this system is predictive in nature and have the support of our sages, which makes the system superior, predictive in nature, and also adds other perks of Vedic astrology, such as Dasha, Antardasha, etc. So, you know what happens with normal numerology? You change a name, and then you expect that, okay, I have changed the name, so the good will happen in the life of the person. But what is the measure to actually know that the change happened because of a name? Is there a measure? No. You from normal numerology, you can suggest a change and the person will implement the change. But can you actually know why this change happened? Does the change actually work or not? Can you predict something using that? You cannot. You can just add an extra S to my name and make it Sushubham. But you cannot guarantee me when the result will come. You cannot predict me 5 things that will come into my life with this change. And if you cannot do that, what we are doing, we are just fooling around. We are just making a change and expecting that it will work. No numerologist ever produced a research of people whom they changed, whose names they changed and how it impacted their lives. And there is no time when that change will come. So you go to a numerologist and he will tell you change his name, and you ask him from when I will get success, he will have no answer. Yes, they will have no answer at all. Isn't it absurd? You should have a time that if you change your name to Prakash today, after 3 months, after 4 months, after 1 year, after 2 years, you are going to get this change, that change. Only in that scenario, I will be able to measure whether I got the success or not. That's the uneasy truth that you, me, and everyone should accept. Isn't it? It is. So the technique that I am teaching you have its own dasha. And you can actually measure from where the changes will come. And you can actually measure what the changes will come. For an example, someone who was having Venus in the 12th house, which means loss in relationship, not being heard in relationship, arguments in relationship, expenditure in relationship. When he changes his name to the third house, from where Venus comes to the 10th house, will get the result of wife supporting in his profession, woman giving him money on his in his profession, having more woman clients, being luxurious, etc., and being able to purchase vehicle and home from the money that he earns from the profession. Because now Venus has shifted from the 12th house to the 10th house. You can actually predict what this name will bring to you. And with the help of the Shah, you can also say when this change will come. This is the power of this technique. And because of this power, you should implement this technique. You should use these techniques. In normal numerology, you change the name and expect the result. Here in the system, you can have dashas, etc., and can decide when the results will be more and when the results can be less. And you can actually have some remedies. So you change the name and you know which things will change by this change. You also know when this change will happen, and you can also have added remedies on that. You can also give remedies to the person. So if the name change is not working as expected, you can give him remedies to make it work as expected. Or even if you are good at remedies, you can also give him remedies to even make this name change more and more powerful, more and more rewarding, more and more in synchronization with the thing. In normal numerology, in remedial measures, you have to keep on changing names. But here, you can have normal remedial measures without playing with the name. In normal numerology, what you do? You suggest a name change, it doesn't work. You suggest one more name change, it doesn't work. You suggest one more name change, it doesn't work. Is the client a guinea pig? Are you a guinea pig? Are you a piece of experimentation? No. In this system, you cannot. You should not. You don't have to. You change the name, that name gets a sign. And when you know that the name is not working as expected, you can give remedies related to that sign. For an example, in the Libra case, if the name was not working, I will give the person the remedy of Libra. Libra indicates scale. Libra indicates balance. You know what is the best remedy for the scale? What is the best remedy for the Libra? Donating grains, donating fruits, foods equal to your weight. So I will suggest this person that donate rice or flour equal to your weight to a temple. And the first month he will do this remedy, he will start having the positive changes in his life. I don't have to change the name again and again and fool the person. This is the specialty with this technique. The Vedic approach is not to change, but to improve. And this is the real stuff that you should know. This is the power of the technique that I am going to present to you. And for this reason, and for all of the reasons that I have told you up to this extent, you should use this technique for naming and should not use the normal technique available. Thank you for watching the video.